everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. This is part 2 of my big road trip home with my brand new GTR. If you didn't see the first episode, I'll go ahead and leave a link to it in the description down below, and I'll place a banner above my head if you want to check that out. Otherwise, I've had the car for about a day. I've put 242 miles on it, and today is another long stretch. I'm going to be doing a 9-hour drive between Lincoln City all the way down to Sacramento, California. So hopefully I'll find some more things to talk about the car and show you some of the nice landscape between here and there. Some of you nerds out there, if this foresty area kind of looks familiar, it should. This is where George Lucas filmed Return of the Jedi. This is Endor. This is where he was running around with the Ewoks and Luke and Leia. Funny story, apparently he told Peter Mayhew he was not allowed to go off on his own because they were afraid some local might mistake him for Bigfoot and shoot him. So kind of a fun thing when you drive through these foresty areas. Here in Oregon, you're driving through Endor. One of the things I've noticed about this car that I didn't discuss in the first video, which is also pretty impressive, is actually the visibility. I remember when I had my 2010 Camaro, the forward visibility was horrible, especially if you were going up a hill. And in some other cars I've had, rear visibility out the rear window, or, looking past the B-pillars when you're changing lanes. You couldn't really see too well. This car, I can see out of really well. I'm kind of impressed with the visibility. I thought visibility out of this car was going to be very limited, and it hasn't been the case at all. So it's another big bonus for this car. For those of you who are kind of wondering if I'm going to do a walk around the car, I'm going to do that when I get home. I'm going to take you around the car. I'm going to show you everything that I spotted, both the good and the bad, and talk about my future plans for the build of the car. But like I said, I'll do that when I get back to LA. For right now, this is just going to be the drive. Now, this is a bit of a fun part of the drive for me. This is actually Salem. This is downtown Salem we're going through, and this is where I kind of grew up during when I was learning to drive. So everything I learned about driving was through this area. I remember cruising with my friends, late at night, because there's nothing else to really do in the area. I think every car I've owned has actually been on this road at some point in time, which is kind of cool. I remember cruising down here with my 69 Camaro, my Miatas, my first real tuner car, which was the Eclipse GSX, the S2000, my Supra. All of my cars have been through this area. So this is kind of a fun trip down memory lane. Every time I drive down this road, I always just remember back to the time me and my buddies in our early to mid to late 20s with no responsibilities, just having jobs, going to school, and just having fun. So yeah, if you've never been through Salem, this is a great little area. They actually have a rule where no building is allowed to be taller than the head of the statue on the Capitol building, which means there's no building in this area over 2 feet, or 2 stories tall. Yeah, so I'm really glad you guys get to see this, and I'm always going to get nostalgic when I drive on this road. Looks like I'm at about a quarter of a tank, so time to fill up the car. Kind of impressive. I've done 275.8 miles to get down to a quarter of a tank. So that kind of gives me an idea about how often I'll be filling up the car when I'm back home. Granted, so far that's mainly freeway driving, so it's not the best representation, but at least it gives me a basic idea. So I am just sitting here because it's a fun little fact for you who don't know. In Oregon, it's illegal to pump your own gas. All gas has gas station attendants, and they pump the gas for you. Okay, so in playing around with the car, I found something else that's kind of annoying. So like I said before, if you didn't see yesterday's video, I did talk about pretty much everything on the car is pretty cool. One of the things I didn't like was the window switches. If you see the window switches, they're right here behind the pull handle, which means to get to them, you kind of got to wrap your hand around it. It's a little annoying. And the newest one that I tried, I decided to try and give the in-car GPS a try. I'm heading down to Sacramento to a buddy's house, and no matter what I do, it keeps trying to kick me off the freeway. I mean, not a lot, but I was at a gas station filling up, as you saw earlier. I input the destination, and it tried to take me like 10 to 12 miles down surface streets instead of just hopping on the freeway entrance, which was right there. Then, as I'm cruising down I-5, it wanted to take me off the freeway and take this little side highway called 58, which makes no sense because I can take I-5 all the way down, and my buddy literally lives just right off of I-5. I put it in my phone, just double check that I wasn't wrong, and sure enough, I could have. You want to stay on I-5 all the way. So I don't know why the GPS in the car doesn't want to take me the most direct route. Maybe there's something in the settings. I'll take a look at that a little bit later, or the GPS in this is just not that great, especially because I'm not signed up for their pay service to get traffic updates. But there's no traffic here, so I don't know why it was trying to take me a route that kept me far from the freeway. So there's the two little things I found during this road trip so far that I'm not a big fan of. Still doing great in these seats. I put 374 miles on the car in the last 2 days so far, with quite a few miles still to go, so I'll let you know if the seats start to bother me at all. About time for me to start thinking about lunch, and I'm getting a bit hungry. I'm running into a bit of an issue. I'm sure most of you who have done long road trips know that it seems like the only thing you see on the road is fast food. And I don't know why, but McDonald's, Burger King, those just don't sound good at the moment. So I'm hoping to find something a little different. I even passed an In-N-Out, which is kind of funny because, you know, In-N-Out's pretty good, but there again, I've got one a few blocks from where I live, so it's not really that exciting. So I guess I'll keep heading on down the road, and hopefully along the way I'll find something that sounds interesting. Otherwise, I'm coming up on Medford, which is kind of like the last major kind of city-esque type place between Oregon and the California border. And I'd kind of like to fill up on gas one last time here in Oregon, because the gas is actually better. Here they have 92 octane. Down in California we got 91. And they also put a lot of additives in California gas for emissions reasons. So I'm gonna pull over in Medford, hopefully find something that's halfway appetizing to eat, and fill up the car one more time. All right, you guys wanna hear something crazy? So when I left Lincoln City, it was currently about 62 degrees, and they were gonna have a high of maybe about 75 75, maybe 76. I'm currently approaching Medford, Oregon, and check out the temp outside. 101. So I've been running the AC in this thing. I have it set at about 75. It does a really good job. I was a little shocked when I decided to check the outside temp and see that it jumped that much in temperature. I was completely unaware. So the AC system on this thing is pretty darn good. So I've made a decision on food, and it looks like it's going to be Sonic's. Yes, still fast food, but at least it's not something I have right around the corner where I live, so it's a little bit different. And let's be honest, the only reason people go to Sonic's is for the slushies. So figured let's stop, maybe get out, stretch the legs a little bit. I hope I don't have to eat in my car. The whole COVID thing's got, you know, the whole no eating inside thing going. So we'll see how this goes. All right, so in a form of good luck, they actually have their open air seating available. So I actually get to get out of the car and get some food, and maybe I'll get some shots of the car. Alright, lunchtime. So I got myself some tots. So let's be honest, tater tots are better than fries. Got their Sonic burger. Not what you'd expect from fast food, but hey. But of course, the real reason why you stop by a Sonic's, this slushies. Best freaking slushies. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and eat, get back on the road. I'm sure you guys don't want me to just sit here and watch me eat, so I'll do some more when I'm back out there. So there's a bit of an add-on. I might have been a little quick to judge on the burger. Now I'm a little bit into it. You can see it. It's got patties, it's got everything you'd figure. A little on the salty side, but the bread's real good. But like I said, I'm here for the slushie. Alright, so I've eaten and I'm back on the road. I've got about one more stop to make between here and Sacramento, and that's just to fill up one more time before I leave Oregon, so I get that better gas and cheaper gas, and then I should be able to make it all the way. I did realize while I was eating, I've actually never shown you guys the engine, so I took a few moments to get some shots of the engine, so here you go. And that's the engine bay. As you can see, it's 100% stock, which is part of the reason why I got this particular car. The only modification that's been done to it is the previous owner installed an HKS white pipe and a catback exhaust. Mainly the reason why I got this car was I was looking for a car where I could still pass California emissions straight up and still be fun. This definitely seems to check all the boxes so far. So far I'm pretty darn happy with the purchase. And yes, I do miss the Supra a little bit, and give me some more time with this car before I decide which is the better car. You may be wondering why I haven't done any really hard accelerations or even used launch control on this car yet. And the reason is, I bought this car in Washington. And I didn't know, but apparently in Washington, when you buy a car, the plates stay with the owner. So I'm currently driving this car without any plates on it. And I'm sure if I had stayed in Washington, probably wouldn't be an issue. But since I'm driving through Oregon and California, where that's usually not the case, the plates stay with the car, it kind of brings some attention to me that I might not want. And so I don't want to be overly revving the car or using launch control on public streets when I don't have plates on the back of the car. But don't worry, once the car get the car registered in California and all that other fun stuff, I will be doing some canyon runs. I'll make sure to use launch control so y'all can see it, and we'll have some fun with the car. Because let's be honest, this car was built for a purpose, and that wasn't just from getting from point A to point B. California.
Welcome to California.
Even my phone says so. Wairika. It's kind of part of the drive I like. It kind of signals the end of the fun part of the drive, which is what I was just going through in the mountains, aside from when we get close to Shasta. But part of the things I like about Wairika is there's a giant steel dragon on the way in and a giant steel cow on the way out. So I'll see if I can't capture that for you on camera. Oh, there he is, my steel dragon. There's my metal cows. I'm now going through weed. Okay, so remember how earlier I was talking about how I was impressed that I went from about 62 to about 101 as I was in the mountains? You know, because usually things get cooler as you go into the mountains. I am now out of the mountains, and I'm on the flats, and the sun is going down, and look at what that temperature is reading. 108. I mean, that is a huge temperature difference between kind of middle Oregon and Northern California. Really glad I was not in Los Angeles this weekend, because I have heard they hit 115. So a little bit of crazy thing about weather there, but is. As you can see, the sun is starting to set. I'm still going to try and maybe get a few more shots for you. I might not, just depending on what the light is. And then I'll probably check in with you before I get to my buddy's house. So hopefully you get to see a little bit more before I sign off today. Losing the light, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. I hope you enjoyed the road trip. It was a good 9-hour jaunt for me. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up to let me know you like it. If you want to see more GTR and car content in the future, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. You can of course follow me on all forms of social media, which is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll leave links for those in the description down below. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all out on the road.